Welcome to It's Show Business. This is a great episode with Steve Furey, super funny guy, regular at the Comedy Store. Started the Southland Comedy Festival, which is a great festival. You should check it out if it comes back in 2021. And he was on the show Dating No Filter also. Super great interview. You're going to love it. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe. It helps support us, and we love doing it for you. So thank you. Steve Furey, thanks for doing the podcast.
Buddy? Yeah, stoked, man. Gave me something to do today.
Yeah, I love that our Arizona time difference just threw us off.
Yeah. I forgot that it's an hour. And it explains why I've been up so late and waking up so late.
Why is it an hour? Like, they need to get over.
Know. They don't like accept a lot of things. I don't think they have Martin Luther King Day. I don't think they have Cesar Chavez Day, and they don't participate in daylight savings, which are my three favorite holidays.
That's wild. So you can go over the border and you don't get MLK Day?
No.
Wow. Arizona's like a bad boss that gives you no holidays.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a weird kind of place, and it's like too many old people. So like the values are very like, not my kind of tea, you know?
Yeah. Is that your hometown or no? You're a Sac guy, right?
No, I'm from Sacramento. I just have my girlfriends out here. She's She's a nurse, so it's okay. She works nights, though, so, like, our time gets all fucked up. But with L.A., it just seems so fucked up right now.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I do love Arizona. I did my honeymoon with my wife there. We went to Camelback Mountain outside of Phoenix.
I haven't been there. I might want to go there.
It's like by Scottsdale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like being in Mexico, but staying in the U.S. Like the topography and it just felt really different, but the same.
I'm gonna write that down. Maybe we'll go there. I've been trying to go to. I go to Joshua Tree a lot with my friends. We go and take a bunch of hallucinogens and go out there. And I've been trying to see some stars out here because I feel like it's a desert, so there's got to be good stars.
There's got to be
Camelback. Yeah.
Is it like ayahuasca?
No. I'm not doing that. I would just take like LSD or acid and Molly and stuff like that.
Why is that better than
ayahuasca? Well, I think that one lasts like 24 hours or something, right? You vomit nonstop. Have you done ayahuasca?
No, I just like everyone's talking about it lately. Like, and there's like a root and a shaman and a
it's like a whole thing. Like you got to go. You got to have like a spiritual Sherpa to set you up. Whereas acid, I just like put it on my tongue for an hour and then trip balls.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
I was listening to Neil Brennan's podcast, and he said he recently did it and became like he's not an atheist anymore.
Really?
So that got me thinking. I was like, wow, it must be some good stuff.
I guess I could do it. I don't know. Who do you buy ayahuasca from? I feel like it's not the same guy you buy from like cocaine or weed from.
No, you need a guy, and he's got to do stuff, and he's got to mix it and tell you you're not worthy, and I don't know.
I feel like you got to meet him at a crossroads in some desert.
Yeah, I really wanted to be. Yeah, I wanted to be Garth from Wayne's World, just like long hair, playing hockey.
I picture like an Aztec Latinx guy, really short, squatty, has like a bag that's leather, and he pulls out just a hunk of a cactus, and then you trip balls, and I guess see God. That's insane.
You start boiling it on a stove, and seems like a lot. But you're out there for comedy too, or no? Is comedy dead there, just like here?
You know what, man? Comedy is still going on here, but at this point, I'm a little too sketched out to do it anymore. Because, like, I mean, you can see our feed. There's, like, a lot of comedians just, like, popping up with COVID now. And it's getting a lot closer. And my girlfriend is a COVID nurse in Phoenix. So she has, like, horror stories nonstop. And it kind of freaks me out. So I haven't been going out anymore. Last one I did was Bert in San Diego. But those are, like, social distance by like 100 yards. So
those with the cars and the separation and those did seem really fun and cool. Like he was one of the first guys to really get out there and capitalize on like the big stadium style tours, but with cars.
Yeah, I think he was the first one. What happened really was there's this group. He had the idea. It was all his stuff. But then he hooked up with this producer group called Hotbox, and they do like EDM shows. So I guess EDM had been pushed to the brim, like the outer rim of society, where they were really the only ones producing at drive-ins. So they had these contracts with all these drive-ins. So once you linked up with them, they're probably the best producers of live driving events, hot boxes. They do Hannibal Buress, they do I think Whitney and Taylor, and they do Bert. And I've working with Bert, I've seen a bunch of people do them, but these hotbox guys, because they run their screens are built for people on Molly dancing to a DJ's fucking set, you know. So it's like the lights are sick, the graphics are sick. Whereas if you go to like just kind of a like when we do these drive-ins, we don't really do the drive-in screen very often. It's normally huge, like 5 huge LEDs.
There are the ones that are basically a drive-in screen.
Yeah, but that I mean, that's like what he was doing in the beginning, and then it's like I mean, the guys who work on some of these ones, they watch your set so much that they start to like pool into your face for a punchline and like all this stuff. It's like, these dudes are good, man. These dudes are good.
That's good. Yeah. So they're basically they're timing it the way they would like a concert when they have like basically you just got to work pyro into your joke.
Just a dick joke and the fiery balls pop up in there.
Honestly, the crowd will go nuts.
That would be sick. I bet you Bert could do it right when he takes off his shirt.
Oh yeah,
people
he
just
could
lose their fucking mind.
I'm surprised he hasn't done pyro before.
I should try and tell him that. I bet he would do it.
Yeah.
For like one show. Maybe if he does. I think he might be doing a special, like an outdoor driving special, but maybe not now. I guess it's kind of over now.
Yeah, that would be super. He just throws the shirt into the fire.
That would be sick.
Good night.
Just like I think he opens with it. Try to follow that shit.
Right. And it's funny, I'll tell you how you ended up being the next guest in the pod, is I had Isaac Allen on.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great guy. And he was talking about, he couldn't say enough great things about you.
Really?
And I was like, I know, I love Steve. He's great. I'm going to hit him. He's next on the podcast. I said it in the episode. He's like, oh, he is? I'm like, well, he doesn't know it yet. But, but he's going to be next. So I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's nice to have some people say some nice stuff about me. I can't complain about that.
Yeah.
What did you and Isaac talk about?
Well, he was. We were talking about. I don't know how it came up, but he just was talking about how he's been like navigating like the comedy scene and trying to get to the next steps. And he just said like he looked up to a guy like you who's like really just had like a great attitude towards it, and a lot of things have come to you because like people like you and like you have a good approach to things. You're not overly like too aggressive, like pushing too hard. And
yeah, what's funny that is I never thought I've been hearing that a lot lately, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but people have been saying nice things. I thought I was kind of rude to people.
That's so funny.
Like not very warm, but apparently I've been nice to people, and it's starting to work out for me. I mean, it just feels nice to have people say nice stuff because I didn't expect it. I thought people were gonna be like, he's kind of a sullen little piece of shit, but I'm happy my name rings out some nice stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a balance. Like, you don't want to be too eager beaver, too like gross, because it gets gross. You're like, what are you doing?
That's the worst part, is the guy who's just too nice, because it's like, because I also think the best way to be nice is to be kind of rude, but then make it where once someone gets you being nice, it's like a thing that someone achieved, and it means a lot more than the guy who's just walking up to you saying hi, all this kind of shit. Because it's like, that guy's slimy. That guy's like, it's weird to say someone being nice is slimy, but it's like, why are you being all this nice? And why are you being nice to everyone? That it devalues the currency of being kind to people.
That's true. And it is like, we live in a town that's very transactional and kind of slimy. So when people are like too nice, you're like, is there something you want? Like, what is it? And then it comes, and inevitably it'll come like, so
is your show, you have a show? I'm like, I have a show.
Yeah. You're at my show right now.
Does anyone drop out? No, they didn't drop out. There's 100 people in this audience. No one would drop out of the show.
Yeah.
Jump sometime, buddy.
Right. Dylan had another great one. He had a story about the Dylan Sullivan. He was hanging at the store, and people were all in a group, and everyone's having a great time. And Sarah Silverman's in the group, and there's a wide variety from like, young comics to her in the group. And then everyone's having a great time. And then someone says, "Hey, Sarah, can I open for you?" And Dylan's like, "No, don't do it." Like in his head, like, don't.
Like, you just ruin it for everyone.
Like, don't go for the short sell. And I love that line. Like, I'm going to keep that on my wall. Like,
that is funny. Yeah, I see that all the time. And sometimes people just come up to a group like I'm in, I'll be at the store or somewhere. I'm just saying I'm talking, and obviously we all want to open for these people.
Yeah.
Not the reason we're talking to them, but
Right.
that's what you want. So then I've seen people just come up like here and then just ask it and they weren't even in it. And it's like, oh, that's the worst thing too. Is like if you're like starting to open for famous people or starting to hang out with famous acts, the biggest thing is to treat them like you would treat an open micer or a friend. Not mean, but you got to keep it even though they're not at the same level, but you got to keep the playing field so that they don't. Because the second you like, hey, can I have a picture? You just drop so much economic like standings with people that it fucks up the dynamics of the friendship. Like I played golf one time and everyone was vibing. And at the end, the guy was like, hey, I'm not gonna say who. He's like, hey, can I have a picture? I was like, oh, dude, you were at the point of let's have beers together, and now you're like, picture guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like because I worked with a lot of musicians in the studio too, and it's like if you show weakness, they'll walk all over you because the power dynamic's totally different. They're famous, they're on TV, they have music videos, and if you start fanning or just like not telling them how it is, they lose all respect for you. It's kind of like Caesar the dog walker. You got to like nip their ears. If you let the celebrity walk, be too alpha on you, it's no good.
100%, yeah. And then you just got to make them feel like they're normal for a second too.
Yeah, people want to be normal.
Yeah, especially if you're like hang out with them.
Yeah,
it's like, just let me have some semblance of normalcy, and where I'm not outside and being a bunch of weird. Like there's this little back bar at the store, and like people come, and that's like kind of a sacred place where like people come in, but you just like there's gonna be insanely famous people in there, and you just got to be really cool.
Yeah,
and then someone bring his drunk girlfriend in. Like, Lenny Kravitz, can I have? And you're like, oh, bitch, you just. But
yeah, it's too much when that back bar is an intimidating place. The one or two times I've walked in there, I'm like, I'll have my water, I'll go now.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes like I used to work there and I'm a paid regular. I'm being there. I'm like, I'm probably not supposed to be in here. Like I'm allowed to be in here, but it's like Dave Chappelle, Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they probably don't need me rubbing shoulders with them.
No, and I'm the type of person like I want to leave places immediately when I get there. Like for me to hang out, it takes me being like, okay, you should stay. And the second I feel like things are not like if I'm in the way, it's if I'm in the way at all, I'm leaving like to my detriment. Like I don't care. I'm not trying to like come up off of someone else being in the way,
Yeah, I also don't want to come up off anyone else. I just want to like,
yeah,
I'm gonna. It's like playing sports, the guy you don't sit by the coach being like, oh, can I go in?
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm suited up. If you need me, my work speaks for itself. Throw me in if you need me. If not, I'm not going to beg you for anything or ask for anything because, I mean, sometimes you got to ask for stuff, but I try not to.
There's a nice line. You got to ask, but be like you could take it or leave it. It's like, and like, what is one thing mean for your career in a long line of things? Like nothing. It's like it's just one more thing.
What the risk reward? It's like asking and getting it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or asking and not getting it and embarrassing yourself is so much worse. Because then now that person's gonna tell other people like, oh, stay away from that guy. He always keeps asking me for stuff, and then it's just like spiraling into like a weird they don't want.
And because I'm sure like at your show at the store, which hopefully it comes back when it all comes back to life, but people would ask you like at your show, can I get on the show? Which you're like, I'm running around, I'm booking people, I'm like managing.
Don't do that as much.
Really?
I know, like when I have like the I feel like they do it on like produce like your show or like like a really great show. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna have anymore, but I think you got an outdoor one now.
Yeah, we had 3 outdoors.
Yeah, your old one was sick. It was packed. But I feel like people feel a little more allowed to ask that. I mean, I would never even ask that.
Yeah.
Just stay. I'm at your fucking show because I want to go up.
Yeah.
I'm supporting, but like, so the dynamics. I don't need to say it.
Yeah.
Like, oh. And then you say it in front of everybody else that wants the same thing, and it's even grosser.
Yeah. Well, we'll get off that, but it is part of like that. We both run shows and do comedy. And do you ever feel that like you would stop doing shows because you don't enjoy it, or is it part of like the production and the making of the show that you really enjoy and you'd continue to do no matter what?
I love my favorite. So I started with the show Bear City. I've had you booked on it before. I think you've done it. Have you gone to very
I
far?
was booked on it the week of COVID, so yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it's a pretty good show.
yeah. I heard
It's
great things. Yeah.
in Long Beach, but it's like pretty packed. We give out free pizza. Normally can give everybody $20 off tips at night.
Oh, nice.
Like, once you get a show and it's rolling, that's pretty great. I love
Yeah.
that. You walk in, you're kind of like, hey, it's Steve. You got this like energy. But like the Comedy Store ones, it's kind of just like a flip of the card, if it's going to be packed or not. And that one, when you're like, the show starts in 10 minutes and there's 5 people there, and you're like, oh God, I have fucking Bert Kreischer and Bill Burr booked on this. Hopefully I don't look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And those ones get me. But if I could get one of those on a loop, I like producing, man. Do you like producing?
I do enjoy it. There's a certain aspect of it that like I feel like it helps you get stage time. It helps you understand the other coin too and be more sensitive to what a producer goes through. So like starting a show is always, even if you do 3 and you're like, I don't like doing this, at least you've gone through the motions. You're like, all right, I understand how much work it takes and I can have a bit more of a rapport with these other people. And I do, and there's a certain aspect of it, but I don't feel, well, with my show, like I host and I'm doing so much, I get less out of it as a stand-up, but way more out of it, out of other things like relationships, like enjoy doing it, like kind of like high-fiving at the end, like we did it, like, and
Well, your show was becoming I felt like an industry darling there for a little while. There's like people, like all the people I taught, like there are a bunch of Fox people go, Levy
yeah,
people, a bunch of managers and stuff would go. It was becoming a really cool thing. And I feel like the best part is when you get your show and it's rolling and then you get like new comics kind of start running everything.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh yeah, you want to come and get a spot every month? Okay.
right.
Or you run the lights and this thing. And then it's like you can start pulling away and kind of getting the residuals and the interest off the show rather than putting in all the hard work anymore.
Yeah, that's funny you say that because with we did 3 outdoor shows and hopefully we can do more next year. But I had 2 younger comics, Mary Romeo and Miranda Meadows, and they've been like instrumental in like helping make it more enjoyable. Like I love them as people and they're super funny, and it allows me to do what you said, which is to let them be part of it. And I don't have to like do every single little thing.
Yeah, because in the beginning when you're like getting on email sheets, putting out ads, doing all this shit, it starts to really, the anxiety of running a show really starts to get to you.
But I was surprised, like one of the outdoor shows was actually just as good as like, was probably one of our top shows ever, including the inside ones. Like it was so good.
Are you still doing it under Comedy Bunker?
Yeah, same location, but it's outside.
I thought you bailed from that place completely.
No.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, the back of
So yeah, it was like kind of a tennis court area. Neil Brennan did the first one, and we kind of switched the format to being a bit more of like a co-headlining show, like 2 headliners and then like 2 middles, and that would be kind of it. And it kind of is like, it's like four comics and a host, and we're done, short and sweet, hour and 15, hour and 20. And it's flowing really good. So hopefully it comes back and we can do it again. But if not, like, it doesn't matter. I've kind of transitioned to a Zoom show, my first Zoom show on Tuesday.
That one, I like have no idea how to produce. I don't know how I get people in there. I don't know how I promote for it.
I'm trying to do it the same way, and we'll see. So
luckily you won't feel as bad if you don't get an audience because no one had to leave their house. But like if you audience and people had to drive to like fucking Long Beach, that one's dick, dude. Because they're like friends too, and you're like, oof. I'm always like, the drive home's a lot shorter.
Yeah, right, yeah. You don't have to think about all the time you saved with no one there laughing. I mean, that's like, you add up those times. That's a lot.
You can get home earlier. That's cool, right? You just drove. Because the Long Beach one, man, when we got it, we had to start. It's at a punk rock, like lesbian bar, like a really cool bar. But we had to start earlier because there was a show after it. So we started at 7. So if you try for the comics to get there at 7, you got to leave at like 5. And you're leaving LA at 5. So it's like, we really had to make sure the audiences were there. Otherwise, it was just a rude thing to do to my friends.
Yeah. It's a tough. I've done a few shows, not that one yet. Hopefully one day, but
I'll
the
get you back.
just driving to Long Beach for comedy. It's at like 6 o'clock. It's rough.
It's about as bad as it can be, and I did it every Wednesday for like
Yeah.
40. It's as bad as it can be. It's butt to butt traffic, and the worst is like when you drive back and it's 25 minutes, and you're like, "What the fuck? How did it get this bad?"
And you run a show, Dating No Filter, which I do a lot of research, a little
Yeah,
googling, and
yeah,
I saw you on there.
yeah.
What was that like?
That was pretty cool. We recorded that like 2 years ago, I think. So we put out 11 episodes, did good. Now we put out 11 more, and it's doing pretty well, I guess. This season, that was like the first time I was ever on camera, like anything. So like the first 11 episodes, I was pretty nervous because you like everything's revolving around you. You know what I mean? I'm on a couch making fun of something, and there's like 40 people watching me and whatever I do. And that was pretty gnarly. And also the hours were crazy. We would work from 8 to 8.
Yeah.
So like I used to be like a blue collar guy, like I was a plumber's apprentice or a carpenter or something like that. So I was always good with like physical labor, but,
Hmm.
and I would never study, so I was bad at school. But like the mental shit on working your brain, trying to be on for
Yeah.
12, being on is kind of hard. You know, like
Yeah.
you say you don't like to go out because you're like, well, when I go out, I got to be on, I got to be funny, I got to be charming, I got to be nice to people. And that's normally for like an hour and a half. But this shit was like 12 hours. But it was really fun. I mean, it's just making fun of people, something I do all the time behind their
Yeah.
backs. The show, I guess, is doing pretty good. I think it's only one of the only two shows right now that have new episodes. It's pretty good. I like the show. It's just like, it's kind of like the show Blind Date in the 90s,
Yeah.
where instead of people like it going like boop, boop, and like a little message pops up where they talk shit, we do. And like the people I run with are great. It's really fun.
Yeah, and it gives you good TV credit and kind of get that out of the little check the box. I already got TV credit. Back
One now.
to
Yeah.
comedy. Yeah. I,
So hopefully I can get some more.
I have a great plumber quote, which is like the plumber comes over and he starts tapping on the pipes to figure out like where the problem is. And he goes tap, tap, tap. All right, it's right here. I fixed it. That'll be $200. And the person's like, wait, you come over and tap my pipes for a couple times and it's $200? He's like, no, tapping is free. Knowing where the tap is $200. And I
I
was
mean,
like,
that's a lot of things probably.
yeah, and I
That's,
thought it was a good thing because like people usually discount people as like your knowledge is important, like knowing what to do. Like you try tapping and figuring it out.
exactly. I like that one. You try tapping that if it's not worth $200. I guarantee you're gonna pull out all the drywall and not find shit.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of. I think this new generation is gonna rediscover these things like plumbing, electrician that are like great jobs that are like union sometimes, and like you make a lot of money if you do it well and have your own place.
Yeah, especially if I mean people like less and less people are doing it, the more
Yeah,
and more make. And it's not like a robot right now can really fix your pipes or anything, and it's not like a robot can do your electricity or build a house. Probably building a house would be easier for a robot to do with like 3D printing, but I don't know how does that kind of technology yet.
and you could be like the cool Instagram plumber with like profile and picture and
That would be a good idea, actually. My dad was a plumber for a really long time, and I used to be like help him out. It was like good, you know. He'd pay me good as get $300 for a weekend. Not bad when you're like 15, 16 years old, you know. But dude, climbing under a fucking house is a nightmare. There's no lights. All you have, it's like a fucking scary movie, man.
yeah.
You just one light bulb and you're crawling like this under a house. And there's fucking dead cats and
Oh,
shiz, and you're in like normally get like a jumpsuit, but it was just like I was like I gotta tell jokes for a living. I can't do this. Even if like a
oh
couple,
man.
I can't do this shit.
Yeah, I've seen them go underneath the house before, and I'm like, they come out all dusty, and I'm like, looks like rough.
And it's a special kind of dust, you know. It's so thin and it's been there for so long.
Yeah,
Just it's the worst. And then sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's a good job, and if like I was just gonna be like a normal dude and wasn't a psycho that thought I was special,
Yeah.
I great. It would have been like the thing to do, but
Yeah. That's your special. If I was a normal dude and didn't think I was special.
yeah,
Special
special, yeah.
by Steve Furey.
Not
Yeah.
normal.
And then earlier this year, I think I had such a great time at your Southland Comedy Festival, which was amazing. I was honored to have the Comedy Bunker part of it. And
Yeah, you had a big night. We had that huge party.
yeah, the after party was there, and like people kept showing up, and it was just I think it was kind of like the end of 2020.
Thing of 2020. It was. I mean, I did that. I don't want to leave anyone out. I did it with Richard Cervante,
Yeah.
Aaron, and Brittany Roberts from Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was like, that was like producing on a next level, because like it was like a week out and we weren't sure anything was gonna work.
Right.
We weren't, because we had people flying in from New York, and we had a lot of wild shit, but then it all just kind of turned out great. And I wish we could have done it again this year coming up. It was really great to do once. And then the parties, we had the open bar. Your place was great. Your show was sick. The party there, we had the taco guy.
Oh, taco guy. The angriest taco couple in taco history. Just so upset with making tacos.
Yeah, it was like, I'm paying you a decent amount, right? And they're just like, don't talk to me.
Yeah,
Just like,
eat. Yeah. All right.
I'm like vaguely related to them too. They're like my cousin's like sibling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like,
Your cousin's siblings, they're like 50.
Maybe an uncle. He's like a cousin's husband family.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were just not thrilled for me to be.
But damn good tacos. I had at least 4.
Yeah, that was fun. It was really, it was the best.
It was impressive just to watch. I was like, oh, it all comes together. You got your badges, you got your gift bags, you got your T-shirts, you got locations, you got like. I was overwhelmed just watching it. I was really proud of you guys, what you did.
It was honestly, it was like, it kind of like my biggest thing. I felt I did the most work in the beginning, which was like, I was like, at the time, Richard wasn't really as known in LA. Aaron maybe just wasn't as known as I was. So like, it was like my job a lot of times to get like the bigger shows to add credibility. And then as the thing came on, Richard spiked up with, making the schedule for like, I think we had like 100 comics, 150 comics in like 30 or 40 shows. Each one almost sold out.
Yeah.
And we didn't make any money, which is not the point of it, but we broke even. And then Aaron picked up with all the bags and the promotions and stuff. And then Brittany brought all the industry to the industry night. It was surprising that it came through.
Yeah.
Like we planned perfectly for each, week. We hit the new mark and all this stuff, but it was wild. And I really want to do it again, but I don't know if we're going to be able to, but I think we should. I think it could be something.
Totally should. I mean, it was such a great brand. All the logos were on point. It just felt like everyone I know who wasn't in it wanted to be in it after it happened. They're like, I didn't even know about it. I would have done it. And I'm like, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, and you will do it next time.
Well, a lot of people were talking shit.
Oh, they were?
Oh, and before it happened, there were a lot of them talking shit to me. I think they thought I was trying to make money off people, which we each lost like $150, which is nothing for that amount of time.
That's break even. That's about as good as you can get.
Exactly, especially when we had 4 open bars, 4 different states.
Yeah.
So everyone just kind of thought I was trying to scam people, but then after, everyone was like, okay, well, this is going to be. And then we had a lot of even bigger shows reach out to us after, be like, yo, next year, hit us up. And it's like, it was really just supposed to be like a celebration of like LA comedy,
Yeah.
And kind of bring everybody together and do a thing. And it worked out. And I'm one of the more impressive things I've done with my friends, and I'm really happy it happened.
Yeah, but I'm really glad it worked out, and hope it does it again. And kind of going back to what Isaac was saying about you just having like a good demeanor, like at first, like you were in the background. I didn't even know. I think I knew Richard before you. So like I found out you were involved with it later. And every time I saw you during the whole thing, you weren't stressed at all. I was like, oh my God, this guy is like he's just cool as a cucumber.
You know what, that really happened? And I was kind of a degenerate as a kid. Like I sold a lot of drugs and stuff. And it's so stressful to do that. You know, because it's not necessarily like the selling of the drugs, but it's like being like, I have to pick this up from this guy at this time to go give it to this guy to then take that money to go over here and then to get that. So if one of those things fucks up, there's a lot of people that are mad at me that are kind of scary.
Yeah.
So like after a while of just like, I just learned that you can't really stress too much because it's not going to help.
Yeah.
Kind of take a chill pill and let it go. And then the only time I really stressed on that festival was we had this crazy one. I think did you do the show at the Improv?
I did one of the shows at the Improv.
Did you do the producer showcase at the Improv?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know which one I did.
But it was like an open bar at the Improv.
No, I wasn't there for that.
You would have been on. You should have been on. Maybe you just couldn't go that night because it was for all the producers.
Okay.
It was an open bar at the Improv, the whole patio, and we had both nights in the lab.
Well, it has been a while. What's that improv?
The improv room that everyone bombs in. There's a big. I love the Improv, but that room is just set up. So we did that, and 10 minutes before the show, no one's there. So like the Improv bought us food, they did all this shit, and I'm tripping. None of the other producers are there.
Yeah.
The GM of the Improv, the booker is like, what's happening? And I'm fucking shitting my brains out next to a huge table of all alcohol prepaid for.
Yeah.
Everyone just came, and it was honestly the most packed lab show I've ever seen. It was unwalkable.
Yeah.
Worked out, and once that happened, it was great. It was a great experience. I really want to do it again, but
maybe I was at that one because the one I was at was packed.
Yeah, it was crazy packed.
Yeah, it was like a pop-in lab show.
And then they were all blown away because they're like, "Oh, you guys actually have." And then we had people bought tickets too, and that was like the one we least promoted for. But
yeah,
just like that one. So
if you're a fan coming to the festival, you're going to be like, well, I got to see at least one show at the Improv or Comedy Store to make it like official or whatever, like, you know, be in the actual comedy club.
Yeah.
But it was, and I had like an out of town element to that show, whereas like it felt like other people were coming who don't normally come to the Improv.
Yeah.
And also like I could see some of the New York comics who had come there for the first time, had a really good time there.
Yeah, too, you know, like if we got you on the show, you probably got to do a spot at the Improv or the Comedy Store, which if New York or Boston or wherever. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? That's like doing a spot at the Comedy Cellar. Yeah.
I mean, the Cellar or Gotham or something. Yeah, going to New York and getting dope spots.
Yeah, it was like, it just worked out. I'm still kind of flabbergasted that it did, but
yeah,
I mean, we put in a lot of hard work.
Totally. And you have a manager that helps you with your career?
Yeah. I got. I'm with Levity. I'm with a guy named Goodman, who
really nice guy. He reached out to me about you before I knew you.
To get go?
Yeah, it's always nice to have a guy like that, you know, like a guy who's got like the right approach and like can really just make those calls and make things happen, you know.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he only did that one because he'd gone to your show a couple times. He's not like emailing like Hot Tub and shit like that for me.
No. But I just meant like as an example of like just being like having someone in your corner who's like helpful, you know.
Well, yeah, there's like a lot of people that are with like a big manager and then they never talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Alex, I was like one of the first people he signed when he went from under an assistant to his own person. And we're like same age. So like my experience with my manager is a lot different than most people, you know, like we'd probably go for beers once a week. We talk 3 times a week, probably. Even right now, there's nothing he can do for me, but we just talked on the phone like 20 minutes ago. So it's like a nice thing, and it is very special. And if anyone ever has a chance to sign with him, I would. But I don't know if your experience would be the same as mine because but it's nice to go from no one on your side to someone on your side that believes in you. And he's helped me get. You know, the funny thing about a manager too is like people are always like, oh, they give you all this stuff. They don't really give you anything. They give you opportunity to get stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really on you, but I wouldn't have the opportunity to do the E-show. He gave me that one. And then, man, dude, I had to go through like 6 fucking auditions for that one. It was crazy. But did that one. He keeps doing it, and it's worked out. And then also having a good attitude worked out. Like, I thought he got me Bert, but I actually was from the festival, a guy named Dave Williamson. You ever met Dave Williamson? Really nice guy, really funny guy.
Yeah, really nice.
He opened for Bert, and then he threw my name in because I'm a pretty good hang, and I can hang drinking with anybody, and then it just kind of worked out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Goodman would come by the Comedy Bunker a lot and hang out, and he'd message me and stuff.
You had that was like a lot of industry was there.
Yeah, it started getting kind of nuts. So there were people coming for checking people for Conan and stuff. Like it was getting kind of nuts. So, but hopefully it comes back. You know, that'd be super dope.
Well, luckily your venue won't close. So,
yeah, dude, in this environment, nothing's for sure. You know.
I know that's what I'm worried about. That fucking punk rock venue in Long Beach. I'm like, I don't know how long they can last.
Yeah, at least LA's two main clubs, like the Improv and Comedy Store, and probably the other ones too, will stay. They don't seem like they're going to go out of business or anything, which is great.
Well, yeah, the Improv is owned by Levity, which is a multi-conglomerate. They own games across the country. They're not going to get rid of that because that's their namesake. Comedy Store, I'm pretty in there. I've talked to them nonstop. They're not going anywhere. Ice House was bought by the Buses, like the people who own the...
Jerry Buss, like the Lakers or something.
Buss, another one. So they ain't going anywhere. They actually just redid their shit. I fucking love the Ice House.
I love the Ice House. It's so good.
It's the best. It's the easiest room in LA, in my opinion.
The big one.
Of the black. Yeah. You just got to go hard, you know? Like, I've gone up there and I kind of mess around, like, do new material. And everyone's like, dude, my girlfriend's in a fucking dress. I'm on a button-up shirt. My kid's in a fucking babysitter right now. I need you to go hard.
Yeah. It's the Midwest in LA.
Yeah, it's a road club in LA.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's like one of my favorite clubs in America.
It's just designed well, that old wood. Something about it, just like the laughs just like knock you off your feet when you're there and you're just like, oh, this is the best.
It is good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is a weird year to talk about these types of things, but like, what are some of your goals for this year? I mean, you seem to have kind of ridden out 2020 with some great, touring with some of the biggest comedians. What does it mean for you for the next 6 to 12 months?
You know what, man? I don't really know. We'll see what happens. This year was worse and better than I've ever had at the same time. Like, I was really working like more by myself. Like, I was doing C clubs and traveling. I was finally living off stand-up. I didn't have to be a door guy at the store. I was getting spots around town. And then that all got taken away. But then I started opening for Bert, and the TV show was doing better than I thought it was going to do. So that's good. I guess it would be... I would like to put a 5-minute tape on something, on either some network or something.
Yeah.
I was talking to a few guys before this happened, but then,
right.
You can't do that anymore. You can't do stand-up on any late shows. So it's like, we'll just see what happens. I just got to keep, just like we were talking before, I don't ask for stuff. I'll just keep.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get noticed at some point, which should happen. I feel like you just got to make, that's why you kind of moved to LA. You want to be heard, and LA's the biggest mountain. So higher you get up, the louder you can go. And as long as you just keep yelling and keep making noise, and it's good noise, someone will listen. And that's all I got to hope for.
Yeah, I'm going to clip that.
Yeah, that's how I felt the whole time that's why I went to the Comedy Store. So I was like, okay, is LA. Biggest mountain in LA is the Comedy Store.
Right.
I feel like one of my biggest special powers in my life is finding, I can find a path. I'm very good at finding a path to what I want and following that path, whether it's from someone's examples or just kind of knowing what to do. And that has allowed me to do pretty much everything I've ever done. And I'm just going to keep following that. And I hope, and it worked out, so I guess it worked out. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a really strong skill to have. Sometimes like what I do is I invert. So I'm like, if I feel confused, I'm like, well, how did this happen? Or how did they get to that?
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, well, let's start backwards, like from where I want to be. And then you have to get this before, then you do that. And it also kind of calms you down. You're like, oh, there's a lot of steps, instead of having that anxiety of like, oh, I need this big thing that I'm not ready for tomorrow, otherwise I'm a failure. You're like, well, no.
Shoot for the stars. It's like, you're not going to get to stars.
Yeah.
Shoot for the roof of your house.
Yeah.
And once you there, shoot for the roof of your neighbor's house.
Right.
And you keep shooting for these steps, you'll get to where you want to be. Like a guy that I always looked up to right when I moved to LA, and he's become one of my best friends, not like a best friend like in high school, but like a work best friend, is Jesus Trejo, man.
I love Jesus Trejo.
You know, and if the things that I've done, I kind of emulate after him.
Yeah.
And he's not that much older than me. I mean, he's far more successful, but it's like, how did he get into the Comedy Store? He became a door guy. Then he became a door in 2 or 3 years. I did that. Then he got with Levity. I tried to get with Levity. And you just see the people that you look up to.
Yeah.
Don't say, I want a Showtime special.
Yeah.
Say, what was the first step that he got there? Because you can't jump to the top of steps. You got to take each fucking step.
Yeah.
And kind of monotonous, but, if you want it, fucking bust your ass.
Totally. That's why I love your answer. It's like, yeah, next year I want to do a 5-minute special, because you're like, I could do that. Once the green light comes for these late night shows to come back, I can just hit, here it is. Let's do it.
Yeah. My shit's pretty good. I'm pretty good. So it's just like, if you guys want someone that's going to bang out 5 minutes, that'll probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to have to run out of straight white guys. Maybe not. I guess very plentiful.
We'll see. I have full confidence that you'll get it. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this for the hour, spending the time telling us about your stories and your knowledge and your experiences in this tough to navigate showbiz lifestyle.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you very much for having me. It gave me something to do today.
Yeah. And where do people find you? Give us your socials and all that.
Follow me at Scuba Steve Furey on Instagram. I post a new stand-up clip every week and do little weird sketches. I'm trying to do shit in this quarantine to make life not so monotonous. And check out Dating No Filter on E! Wednesdays. 2 new episodes come out. It's fun. There's no... It's like smoking a joint, man. There's no politics. There's nothing in it. It's just kind of fun.
Chill.
So if you that stuff, enjoy that.
I'm going to watch it. We gave him something to do today. Thanks again, Steve, and I'll talk to you soon.
See you later, buddy.
Later.